I did like that is one great movie. If you haven't seen it, it just came out. It was just released in Japan today. I was actually going to go watch it yesterday, but I kind of got busy and like the theater was kind of packed. And so I actually got a chance to watch it today, and I have to tell you, like right off the bat, if you haven't if you haven't watched this movie yet, yeah, that is your homework. Go watch this movie. It is amazing. They've done a great job on this movie, and I mean, I already had high hopes for this one, just because of the marketing, the promotion, and the advertisement and stuff like that. And I was like, please God, let this be a good movie. And they delivered. They definitely delivered in this movie, and I think what I'm going to be doing in this review is this will be a non-spoiler review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't believe in like really spoiling anything. I am going to talk about the things that like I was super hyped about in this movie and the things that I really loved about it. I'm also going to talk about some of the things I didn't really like about it so much, because I do think like this is one of the best Spider-Man movies that I have seen in a long time. I like Tom Holland as as Spider-Man. My favorite Spider-Man is still Andrew Garfield, even though I grew up with the Tobey Maguire ones. Andrew Garfield and is still my favorite Spider-Man on screen. It's just because of the way that he plays Spider-Man and the chemistry between him and Emma Stone. And but I really felt um, I really felt like this movie and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies had kind of like a similar vibe in some ways. Not necessarily the character, but the actual tone of it. I mean, this actually got not as dark as I thought it was going to get. And that's something I'll talk about later. But it does have the feels. It does hit you in the field, like in quite a few different areas. So for those of you who are just now coming to my channel, by the way, like I normally don't do any kind of movie reviews or spoilers. As a matter of fact, I have completely just gone through and revamped my channel and changed my channel from the old branding to the new branding, because I'm specifically focused on my WildFIRE Expanded Universe. So I wasn't really planning on doing like movie reviews or anything like that on my new channel, but this movie is so good. I just couldn't. I just have to do this. Yeah, because you can tell I'm I just got back home not too long ago. I'm still kind of sweating because my brain is still processing a lot of stuff. So I was gonna go try to watch this in IMAX, but the IMAX theater showing was like a two-packed, and I just didn't want to wait, so I just went into like a normal showing, and I might go watch it again with some friends in IMAX, just to get the different experience. But yeah, they played this one proper. It's not as I'll get into that later. But yeah, if you were hoping that this was going to be a good Spider-Man movie, you will not be disappointed. And there are some key factors for why I'm saying that. So now, because I have a new YouTube channel, I'm like switching all of my stuff over from Twitch to YouTube, and because I'm kind of new at live streaming on YouTube, which I kind of need to check to make sure you guys are actually seeing me. But because I'm live streaming on YouTube. I'm kind of new to live streaming on YouTube, and I don't want to get demonetized right off the bat after I've just changed all of my channel stuff. I'm not going to be giving any spoiler. Then I'm not going to be using any images or any video from the movie. I'll be using images that are already online, but I'm not going to be trying to find movie clips or anything like that that might spoil anything. So I'm just gonna be using photos and stuff that I'm finding on IMDb, which is a public, just so I can kind of make sure that I'm not putting anything in my video that's gonna get me that's gonna break my new channel as soon as it gets started. But if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and hit the noti bell, because I will be doing a little bit more Marvel stuff, because I do play Marvel Rivals, and I'll be playing Marvel Tokens. So I've been doing console games that are related to this IP. And if I find something interesting that is worth talking about in the Marvel or Star Wars fandom, then I might do a video like I'm doing today. But this is going to be mainly, this is kind of rare stuff for me because my focus is my WildFIRE Expanded Universe. But back to this Spider-Man movie. You have to go watch this movie. It's like the director, David Daniel Cretton or whatever his name is, like the guy who did Shang-Chi. He knows what he's doing when it comes to like movies. So like, what really got me was like the casting was amazing. Yeah, it had its positive and negative points, but nobody in this movie phoned it in. Tom Holland did a solid job on this, and especially because they're using practical swinging effects and stuff like that. Like, just the way that this movie is shot and the way that it is acted. Like everybody put in the work to this, and I'm so happy. I am so happy to be able to say that because for the last couple like Marvel projects, and like that includes movies and TV shows, a lot of the actors I felt like they were just kind of phoning it in or just kind of doing it because like they were contractually obligated to do this stuff. But like when it comes to this movie, nobody phoned it in. Everybody like Ned did a good job. Like Ned and Punisher were actually two of my favorite characters in here. But Tom Holland, I mean, like this is the first that I have really felt connected to him as Spider-Man. Because like, and I think that was the main purpose of this particular movie because it like he needed to be regrounded. He needed to become like the Spider-Man that people can relate to and can kind of chat with and relate to on a like human physical level. And with the past couple movies, when it came out in Civil War, everybody was like losing their shit. But like they kind of made him too much of a protege of Tony Stark. And I mean, he was getting funded and stuff like that. So I think the average person, even though they liked him, they couldn't really connect with him like they could in this one. I mean, and plus he was much younger. So he was playing like, he was kind of becoming like the spoiled kid with like, who had the rich uncle. And a lot of people couldn't really relate to that. So I'm glad that they've stripped all of that away from him and broken it back down to basics for this guy. And like I mean, and you really feel the struggle that he's going through, and it's not played in a. I mean, they do have comedy in this. They got a little bit of comedy. It hits and misses. Most of it hits. Like 90% of it hits. Though they do have like some comical like points in this, but it's not as cheesy as the Raimi movie, definitely. Because this guy is going through some shit. I mean, like like just from even. What got me is after like what got me like is as soon as the movie started, I missed the trailers for the other movies because I got to the theater a little bit late. Well, I didn't get to the theater a little bit late, but I was kind of doing some stuff and then so I had to run, and so I missed all of the trailers for the other movie. Then I got there right before this thing started, and like I went in and got up the stairs. I found my seat in the dark and everything, and then as soon as I sat down, not credits, the intro started playing, and I'm like, as soon as you sit down in the theater, you know what kind of movie this is gonna be because the music is not the cheerful like dun 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 dun. Now that shit just started like ding, ding, ding. You're like, oh, they set the tone right from the right from the intro of that, like with the Marvel logo and everything. You're like, oh, this is gonna be depressing, so like yeah, so they did a very good job at setting the tone of what to expect for him, and it goes right into like what he's been going through. Let's see, one of the things that I'm kind of happy that they did. One of the things that I was worried about with the movie was that it had so many characters. Like when we saw like every scene that I saw on YouTube or something had like a different villain or something like that, and I'm like, there's no way they're gonna be able to give all of these guys like any meaningful screen time. And like like Tombstone and Scorpion and I mean Scorpion he got his blows in this time. I was happy for that guy. I'm like, oh yeah, you've waited like what, like three or four movies for this. Yeah, you deserve this. So like he got his blows in. I mean, he was actually pretty cool. But when I saw like Tombstone and like Tarantula and like Ramhead or whatever his name is, I'm like, yeah, these guys are not gonna have that much of a role in the movie. I was everybody was saying like Tombstone and like what's that guy's name? The Jackal and stuff would have a major role to play with this, but the whole time I was like, nah, they don't have time for like establishing these two-bit characters and stuff like that, and I couldn't really see like a point. I couldn't really imagine Marvel doing anything with those guys after this movie, and so I never imagined that Kevin Feige and them would invest the time in trying to flesh out the like Tombstone or the Jackal or anything like that, because they have bigger fish to fry with the Mutant Saga coming out, and they don't have a lot of time to be dealing with like characters that people are gonna have to go like look up, or people like characters that don't have a lot of like weight to them, right? So I wasn't even worried about those guys. So I'm glad that they put these characters in the movie, but they did it in such a way like that it doesn't detract from the film. And this is a pretty long film. I did not feel the time with this film at all. Like I was there the whole time. I'm like yeah. I bought a drink and then I brought my own. But at this time I'm just like even when I finished my drink, I was gonna open up my non-alcoholic beverage. But and poured it in my cup. But I'm like, nah, I better wait because that might make me have to like go to the toilet, and I don't want to miss anything. That's how good this was. So they had those characters in there that were very recognizable from the comics, like from the comic covers and stuff like that. They were in there just very briefly, just like just to show what this guy's been doing, and like but they did not overstay their welcome. It's not that like most of them were not like really referenced again in the film. I think maybe some of them were like in the jail or something like that, but I'm not trying not to spoil anything. But they didn't detract from the film, and it was perfectly woven in. So it's like, okay, this is what this guy's been doing like since he married himself to Spider-Man, for the past like couple years, since he like had since his girlfriend and Ned had to forget about him and stuff like that. This guy doesn't have a life, so he's just become a workaholic, and these are the type of this is his work. This is what he's been dealing with, right? And they did that very well, and then they went on with the story. So this movie progressed like very well, I think, timing wise and pacing wise. And you get to see him grow as Spider-Man, and you get to see like the city, the people in the city. This guy had been showing up for work, so the people in the city, they actually love him. But and he's normal. I mean, even when he talks to people that he's just saving, he's not like Superman or somebody like that. He's like, truth, justice, and or talk. He's just like, yo, man, are you all right? Yeah, you're right. I had to go do some more work, and people like, yeah, thanks, Spider-Man, and that's totally normal, totally human. Response, and and the fact that he doesn't have the Stark tech, and he had to go home and like sew his own uniforms and like wash his shit in the laundry just like everybody else, and they really they did an excellent job in grounding him. And this is like I said, this is the first Tom Holland movie where I really felt not only connected to like his character, but the actual Tom Holland. I'm like, okay, he seems real now. And that's kind of what. And even when he's swinging through the city, and you see like the inside view of his spider. That's supposed to be a skin suit, so I don't know how they have a camera inside of it. But anyways, because that it should have been like pressed up to his eye like this, but it wasn't. So like, but when you see the inside of his face, inside of his like spider helmet or spider like mask, and you see how lonely his eyes are, I'm like, oh yeah, that. But I know that feeling, right? So. But anyways, like casting perfect. Like Tom Holland did a good job. Zendaya, she's like, I like Zendaya as a actress. I think she's one of the most talented actresses in Hollywood. This girl sings, she dances, she's fine. But. And she did her job in the movie. She did like have some. She got some gut punches in too. Like I was surprised the way that they took their relationship with this, because I thought it was just gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be all lovey. Oh, you remember me? I remember you, and like stuff like that. And like there is a scene in there. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Let's see. There is a scene in there that you will get happy about for about like maybe like a minute or so, and then after that it's just like, oh, you can, and you're like, oh. Like that was cold, but like the way that they took their relationship in this, I think she did a good job of really like later in the movie explaining why she feels the way that she does, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I want you don't listen to me, guy. No, watch this video, please. But like after you finish watching this video, go watch the movie. Yeah, because like she did a good job in like really expressing like how a normal person will feel when she finds herself in the situation that she's in. But like I am gonna like talk about some negative points later in this live stream. Something that I think did detract from the movie. But Tom Holland, solid. Zendaya, solid. The Punisher, the Punisher was my favorite character in here. I think my favorite character was actually the Punisher and of course Sadie Sink. But like yeah, the Punisher like he is the Punisher. They did not like they did filter him, right? But like they did not necessarily try to tone him down that much. So he is through and through the Punisher. And but like Frank Castle has always been a little bit protective and a little bit like of a mentor kind of like messed up father figure for young people when they're around him. So when he's like the Punisher and he's by himself, he's just like, yo, I kill everything. But when he's got kids around or people that are younger than him, there's something inside of him that just kind of flips and he becomes like, a little bit more protective daddy mode. And that's kind of what happened here. So him and Tom Holland, they have like a great, like all of their lines are just like, like really good dialogue and like this like kind of buddy cop kind of thing. So this dude, he's against killing and Frank's just like, I kill everything. Like, and so they have their like philosophical discussions and stuff like that. But the way Frank treats him throughout this is like Frank treats him as a like younger brother kind of thing, and it works very well. But then, there are some like scenes in here where like when Frank starts to realize what he'd get himself into and that he's over his head, he's like, I gotta, like, he still does his job, but he's like, I got a gun and there's this big green and this is facing the Hulk. Well, so he's naturally like, even though he's the Punisher is used to dealing with human threats. He's not used to dealing with this shit, and they show this in the movie. So this is his first time actually probably going up against like I was about to say metahuman. They don't say mutant in the movie at all, I think. And that's something I'm going to talk about later. But like, so this is Frank's like first time really going up against enhanced individuals on this level, especially enhanced like people that he's dealing with in this movie. Like he jumped in there, he's like, I'm gonna crush some bad guys, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna shoot some people up, like get them off the street. And is that the Hulk? Like. And so yeah, he's like, this is way beyond my pay grade, and you feel that from him in the movie. But at the end of the day, he still comes through. He still tries. He kind of fucked up at the end. He kind of messes up at the end, but I'm not gonna spoil that for you. So yeah, but he does come through. So like, it's just their dialogue is hilarious. Who else did a good job? Everybody did a good job. Like, Ned did a good job. I was expecting them to do a little bit more with him. So I do feel like, something I'll talk about later. So, but I think they could have done a lot more with him. I think they could have done like, I think they did enough with Zendaya, with this. And I think, that turns out to be a good thing for something I'm going to talk about later. For Ned, I think like, they could have done more with him. Damage control. The guy, like the actor that played William Metzger, like he did a good job. I think damage control was like severely underutilized in this movie. I mean, like criminally underutilized in this movie, to be honest. So I'll put that on like one of the things I'm gonna bitch about later. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. She is my Jean Grey for this Mutant Saga. They didn't really like she how do I say this? She did an amazing job with Jean Grey. She is perfect for Jean Grey. Her facial expression, the way that she feels like a teenage Jean Grey. She comes across like a teenage Jean Grey who doesn't have control of her powers and doesn't necessarily understand everything that's going on would naturally feel. She comes across just like that. Totally human, totally confused, totally angry, and like, am I gonna spoil anything? Yeah, totally angry, but justifiably. And so like she played that role perfectly. From out of all of the Jean Grey, like of course Femke Jensen's gonna be my favorite one because I grew up with the 19. I'm old. I like so I was like almost 18, 19 years old when the first X-Men movie came out, and I grew up on X-Men the animated series. So Femke Jensen, like she's still mentally my older version of Jean Grey and like the Phoenix Saga, but they kind of mess that one up. But when it comes to other they cast the perfect girl for Jean Grey when it comes to Sadie Sink. So I have no complaints. She knocked that shit out of the park with what she was given. And so let's see, acting, the fight scene, the fight scenes in this are amazing. Like the fight scenes in this are like I'm like yo I'm like even in the theater I was like about to break out some Bruce Lee shit. Like that's how good this is. Like I'm sitting in the Japanese theater though, and like Japanese people, they're kind of quiet like when watching movies, but yeah, like the fight choreography and the practical effects and everything that they used in this were like top. I forgot who they got to do the choreography for this one. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, like they put in the work for this one. Yeah, so the fight scene between the fight scene between the Hulk. I was very impressed with the fight scene between the Hulk. Because like I didn't think it was going to one go as long as it did, and I didn't think Spider-Man would actually have would actually fare as well. I thought he would be running away a lot more than this dude. He's like, yeah, he ran away for a little bit, of course, because he doesn't want to die. But after that, once his thing kicked in, yeah, he was kicking home fast. So I'm like, oh, this is good. And he had the Chucker Gauntlet too, which I was like, I saw that in the trailer. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a nice throwback. So yeah, the fight scenes in this are amazing. So yeah, like there's some of the best that I've seen. So and like there's nothing cheesy about them at all. Except for like one or two of them. Yeah, but they put in the work for that. So like there's a lot going on in this movie, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters, but they paced this very well. Nothing feels too long or too even when Aunt May shows up and like in his recollection and stuff like that, and he's like, but and they're like, it was like this director, he put that in there, he hits the point, and then he moves on to the next thing, so he doesn't really drag anything out too much. So like visuals awesome, like fight scenes awesome, acting amazing by everybody. Let's see, is there anybody on here that I need to talk about? Ned, underutilized, I'll talk about him later. Tom Holland, like I think this is his best performance in any film that I've ever seen. Like this girl, oh my god, like yes, she is it. Like so yeah, I'm looking for stuff that's not going to spoil the movie, or that's not going. Oh, Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I like the way that they did him, and I like the fact that they didn't keep him in Professor Hulk form too much. So we needed to get back to Savage Hulk because Marvel kind of dropped the ball with that. Yeah, so Bruce Banner as just Bruce Banner in this. That dude is actually kicking some legitimate knowledge in here. So I mean, in the past couple Avengers films and stuff like that, they kind of made him a little bit more silly. Just goofy as Bruce Banner, and he was like kind of cracking a lot of jokes and stuff like that. And I mean, like, of course, he still does that to like kind of keep himself on the light side, and not tap into the Hulk and stuff like that. But when he's talking to Peter, he's like giving some real stuff. He's asking some real philosophical questions because and you can tell that he's talking from experience because like he's being a bit hypocritical because he's still got that inhibitor on him that's kind of repressing the Hulk, which which will be used against him later. As the Savage Hulk does manage to break out in this film, but when he's talking to Peter, though, he's talking to him like a bro, basically, because as somebody who understands exactly what this guy is kind of going through, and trying to get him to trying to kind of preaching what he doesn't practice, to be honest. So hold on, let me check this over here. But Ruffalo, I think this is actually one of his better performances in the Marvel universe as well. So can't really say anything bad about him. Give me a second. I've got to make sure my stream is going good. All right, so yeah, Ruffalo did a great job. But I'm glad that they didn't keep him in the movie as long. He was there, he did his part, and then like they got him out of there. It's not that I don't like Mark Ruffalo, but we came to see Savage Hulk, and like they delivered on the Savage Hulk thing. So yeah, that fight scene was like awesome. So who else? Like what else? What else? That I love about this movie. So visuals, like music was awesome. Yeah, so I was totally immersed in that. Yeah, like there's just so much to say about this. The fight, the Scorpion was like, the Scorpion actually was the fight scene wasn't as long as I thought it was gonna be, but the Scorpion, fight scene was felt like one of the best moments in here, because like like this guy has a reason to hate Spider-Man, and like all of that's been building up, but when he finds him, like he's expecting to like be fighting the normal Spider-Man, but what he gets is something totally different. And so like and the fact and the way that Spider-Man winds up handling him, like it sends out a like after he handles him the way that he does, like he handled him so bad, even Spider-Man, like the second part of Spider-Man woke up, he's like, yo dude, you gotta chill. And so like that the fact that Spider-Man knows that this is a normal human in a suit, it's kind of like makes him start going through this change, start kind of questioning himself. So I think like I mean, but the fight scene itself and the criminal's reasons, the criminal's motivations for going after Spider-Man is not just like I want to be evil and rob a bank and steal money and you're trying to stop me. No, this guy has a long-seated hate for Spider-Man that is justified in this. So that made me feel like that he was an actual threat to Spider-Man because it's personal, right? And I like that. I like that for him. And the actor, he did a good job as well. He wasn't like on the screen like so much, but when he was, he made an impression in more than a few ways. Let's see, the hand. The hand is gonna go on my kind of negative comments for the movie. Hold on. Yeah, so that's gonna kind of go on my negative side. More positive stuff. Oh my god, this movie has like so many positive things. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, just go watch it. Don't watch all the spoilers and stuff online until you like see the movie. I think that would probably be my best advice. I mean, if you haven't had everything spoiled already, yeah, like the Dark Eye. I'm not really gonna like get into what's going on there, even though like I think people can kind of imagine the fact that this dude is like making his own suits, like just like living and trying to live a normal life while trying to be Spider-Man. You actually feel the impact of that on him, and not just feel it, but you could see it taking its toll on him. So they did a very good job of visualizing everything and all the pain and suffering that he's kind of going through. And like and I also like the point where we get to see what breaks him. And kind of makes him start going bad, and like that's after yeah. There's a certain point in the movie, like where it seems like everything's fine and everything's kind of happy, and then after that, when he gets back home, that's kind of when the mental break happens. And I'm glad that they put that particular scene in the movie, in like that he just doesn't wake up. So I think that was actually a vital part of the movie. Yeah. So like those are like I would say all in all I would give this movie an A plus, and that's something I haven't given Marvel or Star Wars. Like most of the stuff that I've seen from them ever since Endgame have been like C D tier at least. Like a lot of the movies I haven't even gotten to watch because like watching the trailers or hearing who did them or what's going down just hasn't excited me. But for this one, I actually had to get up and get out of my seat and go to a theater and pay money for this one. And I can honestly say, like, it's worth it. I do not bullshit people. If I think something's garbage, it's garbage. And I will tell you it's garbage. But this is like, yeah, this is one of the best Spider-Man movies you're going to see because it is the most relatable that you have ever seen any of these characters in the MCU. And at the end, I do have like some problems with the way that the movie kind of ended. All right, so now let me get into those are all the positive stuff. A plus movie, go watch it. Buy popcorn, spend money on this one, right? Because this is like kind of like the MCU returning a little bit back to form, and like and it's putting Spider-Man where he needs to be. In as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that people love and can connect to and can relate to. So those are the good points. everybody, all the actors, bravo, you did a great job on this one. Even if they were in there for a small amount of time, they did an amazing job on that one. Even especially like the lady, the detective lady. I forgot who she is. The detective lady, she wasn't in there that much either. But like even her role is a pivotal role. So I could say that there were no really wasted characters. I think everything matches. There weren't really so many wasted characters that people are like, what are you doing in here? Kind of thing. So, yeah, like, awesome job. All right, so now for the thing that I didn't really like about the movie, and there are a few. My main complaint about Spider-Man Brand New Day is that, and this is not like this is not the fault of the director or the actors or the visual effects team or anything like that. All of that I felt was perfect. The problem is they played this movie too safe. Too safe. If you were like I was when I went to, okay, for those of you who have watched like some of my streams before, it's like on Twitch, or even when I play Marvel Rivals, you'll know that I had a theory about like what's going to happen in this movie. You can actually find that theory. Where's my on my YouTube channel somewhere? Let's see. Yeah, so I think like I still have it up here. Okay, yeah. So this is my YouTube channel, my newly revived YouTube channel. So like on this video right here, like where I'm talking about where I'm playing Marvel Rivals and talking about Daredevil, I have a theory about what was going to actually happen in Spider-Man No Way Home. That it's kind of like my own fan fiction, but the way I put it together is like it kind of explains how the MCU and the TV shows and everything could really connect everything to the upcoming Mutant Saga, right? So you can check that out on my YouTube channel, which I'm currently rebranding totally. I've taken down like almost all of my videos, and I'm re-uploading and I'm uploading new videos specifically for my WildFIRE Expanded Universe, so you can check that out. But in this video here, like this is where I give my theory of what was going to happen in this movie. It's most, like I said, it's a fan theory, but it also connects everything very well for the Mutant Saga. And that is what I think this movie is lacking, severely lacking. So the story is great, the premise is great, all of the characters, sorry, the character development here is good, but unfortunately, like one thing I did notice is that all of the characters kind of going through the same character development. So all of them have like good and evil sides that they're kind of wrestling with. And the question in this movie seems to be like, well, which path does each of them choose? Frank Castle is Frank Castle. He's like, I'm fucked up. So, yeah, there's no saving me. I'm just gonna keep on killing people until I get taken out. You know, I am the Punisher. Like, yeah, I've given myself to my devil. You know, and he's cool with that. Spider-Man, he's got the good and evil side. Professor Hulk, Bruce Banner, he's obviously got himself in the Hulk, and he's been repressing the Hulk like for so long. So he's being a bit of a hypocrite, but you know, he's learned how to like kind of deal with it or kind of hide his shadow for so long, and then his shadow finally manages to break out, which it always does. Sadie Sink, like, you know, with her like being introduced in this, I love her character. I like the way that I like what they did with her. I think they did waste a lot of her potential for this though. Because like if you are going to do mutants in the if you're going to do, Kevin Feige, if you're going to do mutants, fucking do mutants. Like, don't hold back. They played it way too safe with this movie. And so, like, in my theory, it's just kind of like, okay, we're gonna have mutants in this movie, and Spider-Man is going to be exposed to mutants in this movie. So, like, if you're gonna do the mutants, do the mutants. Like, you know, like it's like Marvel is still kind of like trying to tiptoe around this and like drip feed, like damage control and drip feed mutants as they build up towards the Mutant Saga. And so the movie doesn't necessarily include like any like really hardcore like mutant scenes, except for with Jean Grey that would like that would have a major, I mean, they have major public impact, but like the public doesn't necessarily get involved in this as much as they should, because Disney held back on this shit. And like, so like that's why I keep on saying, like, if you're going to do mutants, do mutants. So the way that I would have written this is like I would have had it like to where there were two different mutants in here, and like one would be Jean Grey, who's a young Jean Grey. She doesn't know how to use her powers, and like she actually winds up helping like Spider-Man like Punisher, like put down the Hulk, and then there would have been another evil mutant who was actually like maybe even like connected to the Hand. There's this girl that I kept on saying, like not Rachel, like Typhoid Mary. So I would have had two distinct mutants, one evil and one good, and like but like the thing is like the public wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that would help turn public opinion against mutants in general, where one is causing chaos, and Jean Grey, like being Jean Grey, she's like inexperienced, but she's still trying to do the right thing and winds up helping like Spider-Man and Hulk and Spider-Man and Punisher deal with the Hulk. You know, but to the general public, a mutant is a mutant. So the one that's causing all of the chaos and all of the destruction, they would, and especially if they can identify her as a redhead, they would naturally pin that on Jean Grey. That's kind of the direction I thought that they were actually going to go with this. Two separate mutants, a good one and an evil one, but the public just doesn't care, and they're just like all mutants are bad. And so I think they really missed an opportunity with that, to get the public more involved in the debate about like mutants. Like we know all of this was like caused by a mutant, but which one? And then the public would be like, we don't care. Register them all. And so like they missed an opportunity to like hit that home, to like actually get make the public panic about mutants. They're already scared of the Hulk, but they seen this dude in like Sokovia Accords anyway, and they know that he's kind of got a split personality, so they can accept that. But mutants are a totally different thing, especially ones that can read minds and control other people's actions. That would scare the shit out of the public if it, you know, especially if they could identify one mutant that has been like captured or something like that, and they're like, oh, this person has telepathic powers, and like, you know, so she's locked up, but she could be any one of you. Now there's this new thing called mutants, and like even your children could be one of these. That would freak the public the fuck out, and like you know, that would like naturally turn public opinion. So at that point in time, it wouldn't matter if you were a good mutant or not. You know, and that would be the situation that Jean Grey would have found herself in, and if I had written this thing, right? You know, so she's like, I tried to do the right thing, I tried to use my powers, I helped the Hulk, I'm a hero, but the public doesn't care. And that would give her a reason to actually go into hiding. So that was a huge missed opportunity, because that also like, you know, ruined the opportunity for like Professor X to come in and like, you know, erase everybody's mind and like save her and take her to the School of the Gifted, which is probably where like, you know, she's gonna wind up there eventually anyway. So that was one. They didn't commit to mutants. They didn't commit to like showing like the public reaction to them being a threat, or their general disdain for them, even if they try to do the right thing. I think that was mistake number one, and I think that was more of a Disney thing or a writing thing, to where they're just like, okay, well, we're not gonna put that in this movie. They should have put that shit in this movie. And like Spider-Man could have been like the neutral perspective on all of this, because like his spider sense could be tracking like two mutants, like the evil one and then the good one. Maybe he would think that they were the same at first, but then when he meets Jean Grey, he's starting to realize, okay, well, she's a good one, but there's somebody else who has a similar power, and they're kind of battling against each other. Which one do I choose? I know like not all mutants are bad because I see Jean Grey. But you know, and then that would have given what happened at the end, if it was written better, that would have given what happened at the end of this movie a lot more weight, you know, instead of the way that it ended. So that was the biggest missed opportunity in this film. They could have set up a lot of shit with that. They could have like, so another thing that they missed was the Hand. Out of everything that if I was gonna say that there was anything in this movie that could have been maybe possibly removed, I'd say it'd probably be the Hand stuff, because they didn't really have time to connect it so well to the story. So like the Hand being in here, it was like cool, it was ninjas and stuff, but the Hands are normally associated with Daredevil. They should have had that dude in this movie, to be honest. So like the Hand are more associated with Daredevil, not Spider-Man. So Daredevil, Wilson Fisk, and Typhoid Mary, actually. That's why I said that they should have put like two mutants in here, and one of them should have been Typhoid Mary, because like she is a telepathic mutant that can body jump. Right, and like she actually works for the Hand. She's an assassin for the Hand, and also like she was the wife or the lover of Kingpin. So that would have fit perfectly in this movie. But like without that connection, their connection to damage control and all of the events that are kind of going on in here, there's a gap. I don't feel where I don't understand where they, or even though they tried to explain it in the movie, I don't really understand where they organically fit into this story. It seems like they were just kind of put in there for like maybe something that's going to happen in the future or whatever. But the Defender, they already defeated them once, and like I would have been like, okay, well, Matt Murdock, he's in jail, he's in this jail. They put him there, and maybe the Hand came to kill him with Typhoid Mary. That's what I would have done, and that would have like actually made this a little bit connected a little bit better because Matt Murdock already knows Spider-Man. So, yeah, he already, like, and Matt Murdock would have been the only person who could actually identify Spider-Man. Because remember, Matt doesn't see, and, like, so he knows that he would know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man based on their, as soon as Spider-Man showed up to the jail, in this movie, like, he would have known that Spider-Man was Peter Parker because of the heartbeat and, like, the way that he walks in different senses, right? So he would have automatically remembered it. It's like, okay, well, whoever I'm talking to, this is, like, that Peter Parker guy that I defended in court, basically. And so that would have made a natural connection. And that would have also connected the story to the Hand, because they might be trying to kill Matt Murdock in jail or something like that, right? So the whole Hand thing is like, okay, we got cool ninjas jumping around, and they do like kind of serve a purpose or whatnot, but really, what are they doing in this movie? What's kind of gonna go forward with this, except for them being like the bad guys, right? So when they were taken out, I'm just like, well, yeah, next kind of thing. So the fight scene, they were just there for providing cool fight scenes, I think. But like storyline wise, they didn't really have too much of an impact for me. Yeah, so I think they could have skipped that. If they're not going to put Daredevil in here, or they're not going to have like Frank Castle specifically targeting the Hand or something like that, they could have left them out of the movie and just got a different direction, because they didn't really contribute that much to it except for cool fight scenes, in my opinion. Let's see. So that was another missed opportunity, not having Daredevil or any like real Hand connections in here, besides the fighting. Another thing I didn't really like about this one was the fact that damage control. They could have done a lot more with damage control, especially with William Mesker in here. Like, okay, so any spoilers? So we do find out that they have ulterior motives, of course. Oh, hello, thank you for watching my stream. Like, I just, like, noticed that, yeah, this was an amazing movie. Thank you very much. So like, yeah, I'm just like, just kind of trying to fill people in on kind of my review of this, or what I thought about it. So I am going to watch it like maybe 2 or 3 times. How many times have you seen this so far? Yeah, so like, if you watch the movie today, like, let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, I think it's an awesome movie, but I see where they missed so many opportunities. Like, damage control should have been like we find out about them later, but by that point, it's kind of like, become a little bit obvious that they're kind of pulling string, but they could have done like a lot more with them and they should have shown how advanced damage control has gotten with this new technology. So yeah, they should have like kind of gone all in, and like maybe when they managed to capture Jean Grey, to find out how do they control a telepath. You need another telepath to control another telepath or capture another telepath. So that's what I would have had, like a more experienced Typhoid Mary in here to kind of be the counterbalance to Jean Grey. So they would be constantly like counterbalancing everybody out, with Typhoid Mary being the evil one doing the assassinations and like all of the mind manipulation and the body jumping, and Jean trying to catch up with her and like help Spider-Man out. Spider-Man can track them, but he cannot be possessed by them. But he can't. It would take a telepath to defeat another telepath, right? So that's why I would have put Typhoid Mary in here. But then I would have found out. But then I would have like had it to where like Typhoid Mary and the Hand are working for damage control, and then we would have seen how much damage control has been like really investing and like like trying to like secure their budget, and had been advancing with this new technology that they're eventually going to turn into like mutant control collars and mutant like registration act, and eventually Sentinel like design like type of programs and stuff like that. So they I think like my main problem is that they didn't commit to showing like any of this stuff for the mutant stuff. And this, like, even though it is a Spider-Man movie, and we're like, of course, like feeling like Peter's loss, and like like him struggling with his dark side and his like light side and like all of this stuff, like that is the main focus of this. This is like because this is a Spider-Man movie, but this is a Spider-Man movie where if they had included more of the mutant stuff, it would have worked. It would have not only would it have worked, but it would have advanced Spider-Man's own like story, because right now in this whole movie basically it's people dealing with grief and loss and like like light side and dark side stuff. But if they had actually committed to putting two mutants in here to where Spider-Man could see, because this relates to his personal struggle. He's got a monster inside of him that's starting to come out, and then if he sees like two mutants, like a good one and an evil one that that are basically kind of doing the same thing but kind of countering each other, that would give him more of a moral gravitas to like be like, okay, like one like they're both like kind of doing the same thing. One is good, one is evil. I'm kind of in the middle. I got this split inside of me. Hulk's got the split inside of him. Which one do we choose? Yeah, and then he's like, well, I know not all mutants are bad. That means that all monsters are not bad, right? And so like that could have given him like a cool growth thing at the end. But the fact that Disney did not commit to the mutants in this, and did not commit to damage control, or did not commit to like showing like what the world would think of like when mutants are finally exposed as a threat. Damage control could have locked onto that shit, especially like, and just been like, okay, yeah, damage control has managed to like capture an enhanced individual that can control minds and can like do all of this stuff. So anybody who was affected in New York, that's like because of these newly identified enhanced individuals, that could have like sparked the like fear that damage control needs to get funding to like where the government and all the people are we don't care if it's good or bad, just do what you need to do to control these people. And that could have been exactly what damage control needed, and Val she would have loved that shit. Val, and so that could have sparked everything off, and like that would have given Jean Grey a reason to like have to run. Because damage control wouldn't have blamed all of the bad stuff on their own red-headed mutant Typhoid Mary. They would have blamed it on Jean Grey. Like, yeah, the red-headed mutant who can control power, and like that everybody would have been looking for her, so she would have had to escape, right? And so they just didn't commit. They were. I don't know what it is. Like, even though it's a great movie, they just missed so many opportunities with this, that now they're gonna have to try to set all of this shit up later. And so like damage control, the Hand, not utilizing another mutant to kind of like show the difference between the good one and the bad one, but then the humans are like, we don't give a shit. And let's see what else. Sadie thinks she did her job, and she was amazing in this. They did not give her enough to work with. So, and I think they couldn't give her enough to work with in this, because like I said, everybody was going through the same story arc. So like she's no spoilers, but she's got her issues that she's kind of working through with stuff that happened, with some trauma that happened with her back in the day, and she gets caught by damage control, and she's trying to like, she doesn't have control of her powers obviously at this point, because she hasn't been trained by Professor X or anything. But and she does wind up doing stuff that I think is would be initially against her character in the comics to a certain point. So she starts off kind of like very manipulative and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's why I would have split. That's why I would have split it into two different mutants, actually. One evil and one good, but both with similar power sets. So, because like a lot of stuff that I was seeing, I'm like, okay, well, I can understand that she's a teenager and stuff like that, and that she would be angry, and then she's got all of the angst and like all of the anxiety, and that would cause her to lash out and do stuff and look for stuff. Yeah, I can understand that. But at the same time, this doesn't necessarily feel like Jean Grey. So I would have had another mutant to balance that out. And like to where like she does wind up, of course, doing the trying to do the right thing at the end, but to where she could have consistently tried to do the right thing and just not been powerful enough to do that. I think that would have been a better balance for this, because, and that would have put her on a different story arc than the Punisher, the Spider-Man, and Hulk, who are all basically going through the same thing. Even Damage Control is going through the same thing. They're like, okay, we are severely underfunded for dealing with these type of individuals and this kind of threat. We need more money. We want to be good people, but we're dealing with threats that we have not. They're feeling the same way that Frank Castle is feeling. Like, is that the Hulk? So, but they're dealing with turning trying to do the right thing, but winding up doing the bad thing. So all of the characters kind of have the same story arc in this, and so I think if they had done, I would have written Jean Grey a little bit different, to where she's just an innocent girl who's trying to who's been captured, who's trying to survive, trying to figure out her way out. She knows she doesn't have any control of her powers, but then another mutant actually who has a similar power, she finds out that she can affect that mutant, and they wind up countering each other out, and eventually that helps her start becoming a hero, starting to accept her powers and what she could do with them and use them in a heroic fashion to help people like Spider-Man and Punisher and stuff like that. And that would have been a good segue into her for the X-Men, because at the end, if she gets blamed for everything anyway, even though she's the innocent one and hasn't done anything wrong, the public would naturally turn on her and start hunting her, and that would be a good reason for her to kind of escape to New York, and then maybe Xavier to kind of find her and stuff like that. Right now, she's just kind of an angsty teenager who's trying to figure stuff out, which is the same thing happening at Tom Holland. So I think that was a little bit character arc was a little bit repetitive throughout the film, to be honest. So I would have definitely taken her in a different direction. But with what she had, with the material that she had, she knocked it out of the park. So I have no complaints about her acting or anything like that. So those were the biggest missed opportunities. Tombstone, didn't really care about him. He was good. All of them did a good job, but didn't really care about him. The Jackal thing, I wasn't even interested in anyway. I was more looking for a connection to the actual Mutant Saga that's coming up, and also to Daredevil. What's going on with Daredevil, season 3, and the whole hand thing, and the Punisher. I was looking for them to kind of connect all of these. And they didn't necessarily do that. Another character that I think was underutilized was Ned. I think this was a perfect opportunity to give Ned more of what he needed. So the actor, he did a good job, but they didn't utilize him as much as they could have, because Peter could have used another friend that had the knowledge of technology. So that could have been a very good group, like Peter and Punisher and Daredevil, Sadie Sink with the mental stuff. Daredevil, okay, so Peter for the Hulk, Spider-Man for the Hulk, Punisher for a damage control, dealing with them, Daredevil for dealing with the hand, Sadie Sink for dealing with the other mutant, the evil mutant that has telekinetic powers and telepathic powers and damage control, and then Ned as the tech guy, as the guy in the chair for Spider-Man. So I was really hoping that they would give him back that role and find a way to give him back that role in this movie, which they kind of hint at the end, but it was too late. So Ned had been trying to find out who Spider-Man had been tracking him, and so he knows enough to know that Spider-Man would probably need help. And when he finds out that it's this guy that he has kind of already a connection to, but he doesn't know why, he would naturally want to jump in and help this dude, right? And they could have used that in the last fight, or in the last fight or something like that. The last fight was it was good, but they could have done a lot more with it. That's my whole complaint about the movie. They could have done more with it. They should have done more with it, but it feels like they were just too scared to do a lot with it, to really commit to adding certain elements. And this was the perfect movie for them to do that. But now we have to kind of wait for them to decide when to introduce these things, and I think they just totally missed the opportunity in this movie. So Ned didn't get to be the man in the chair, even though he'd been working on it, and he kind of earned it at this point. So now we have to wait for him to now we have to wait for another movie written by another writer and another director to kind of figure out how they're going to try to figure out how to connect this shit together. And that kind of worries me a little bit. So Daniel, I always mess this guy's name up. But the director of Shang-Chi, he did an amazing job on this. No, I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's not, from what I understand, he's not going to be writing or directing the next film, and that's kind of what worried me. Um, Another thing I didn't like about this movie is, okay, this is not necessarily a movie thing. The casting for this was perfect. Yeah, so the casting for this was great. However, the casting for this is also a problem. And the reason why the casting for this is also a problem is because we keep seeing the same actors and same actresses in across different franchises. And it's not that I don't love seeing Zendaya. I love seeing Zendaya. Yeah, there is nothing to hate about this at all. Yeah, so like she is like what like she this guy. No, they nerfed you, man. They nerfed you. Yeah, I love seeing Zendaya, and there's no more than in there. What you doing here? Like, yo, no, don't give me stuff I'm not asking for. And get out of here. Like, I wanted to see my. What happened? Yeah, so. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying not to use anything that's going to spoil any images that's going to spoil the movie, or like that'll get me demonetized. So. Oh, Ned. Okay, yeah. So I love seeing Zendaya and stuff like that. But the problem is, we are seeing them too much. Not just in Marvel movies, but like her and Tom Holland and like the Punisher, like they've been in multiple franchises. They were just in the Odyssey together. This is not good. It dilutes the value of an actor when you repeatedly see them in different franchises because you don't know which franchise, which character they should be remembered for, right? So I love Zendaya. I am tired of seeing her and Tom Holland in everything. So even when I see them on screen, in Spider-Man, I don't feel anything. Now in this movie they did a good job, but that's because the way it was written and what happens at the end, the way that their relationship, kind of like the dynamic of their relationship, and plus they started in Spider-Man together anyway, so it feels natural to see them in this, and to see how their relationship is going to eventually play out. That's what people wanted to see. I am glad that I am glad that the movie ended the way that it did with their relationship, though, because they do not need to be seen on screen this much together, because they are in everything, in every franchise. Like I don't think Zendaya or Tom Holland have made it in Star Wars yet, but I'm pretty sure Disney's trying to like slip them in there somehow. They should not do that. Like they were just in the Odyssey together. We always see them together. Of course, they're married and stuff like that. But if in a movie franchise like this one, the more you see them, then the less it actually means. So in this one, after this movie, I do not want to see Tom Holland and Zendaya together in the next movie. They need to find a way to break them up. They need to give Peter another love interest, preferably Gwen Stacy. I don't think anybody can top Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's like romance in Spider-Man. Like that's the best one for me. That will always be that bring her ass over here. That Scorpion. Yeah. If I had, I would use that on a girl if I had that, if I had those abilities. But I do not want to see like Zendaya and Tom Holland in a romantic relationship in another movie for a while. And as a matter of fact, I do not want to see them in any other movies, particularly outside of Spider-Man, for a while. They need to take a break because they're in everything so much that like it's going to get to the point where people don't care to see them in anything. That's the same thing that happened with Oscar Isaacs. I don't care to see him in another movie. Pedro Pascal, I'm tired of seeing his ass. Idris Elba. I think Idris Elba, idea that he was like just kind of overextending. Hello, Zendaya. That he was just kind of overextending himself in movies and stuff like that, and that he was diluting his own personal brand. So like if you are in every Hollywood movie, you are in no movie because nobody's gonna remember shit that you do. So if you're gonna do Spider-Man, do Spider-Man, and then that's why like I was looking forward to I'm always looking forward to new actors, Marvel introducing new actors and people that we haven't seen before, like Robert Downey Jr. and like Captain America and Thor coming back for like Avengers Doomsday. Good, like they're the reason for that. They need to pay for the sins of like traveling the multiverse and stuff like that, and they need to die. Yeah, they need to get killed off. Like, but when it comes to like these new Marvel projects that they're coming out with, they need to like Disney needs to like stop being stingy and start sourcing new blood. In my WildFIRE Expanded Universe, like I'll show you what that is right now. But in my WildFIRE Expanded Universe, like one of the first things I do is I always focus on the characters. I have hundreds of characters in this, and like none of them are the same. If I was going to do like a live action film, which I'm planning on doing eventually in the future, like I am going to be looking for new talent. I'm not going to be looking for like Tom Holland or somebody who's like already from a popular franchise, because that is going to ruin the story. So like I don't want people who are already associated with a popular character, unless like it's only maybe if I was going to do something like for like Alex or something in my universe, which you could check out on my Patreon, by the way. I've got my own universe, and you can find out more about that on YouTube too. But if I was going to do like anything even remotely like live action with this, I would be looking for new talent and people who are not already established or linked to like popular cult characters that we already know and stuff like that. But with Disney and stuff like that, they're just reaching into the same pool of the same actors from different franchises. So like, oh, we'll move you over to Star Wars. Oh, we'll move you over to this. Oh, we're like, stop doing that shit, because it ruins your actors. Right, and actors, you need to. Right now, I know like you're under a lot of attack from, like AI and people using your image and like getting undercut on salary and stuff like that. I understand all of this, but you do need to start being a lot more selective with the roles that you choose to take on, if your contracts will allow you to, because you're totally destroying your own image and your own brand, and you need a cool off period. You need something like that people like can just say, okay, well, you are like for Tom Holland, everybody knows him as Spider-Man. Like, you are Spider-Man. Just be Spider-Man for a while. Like, that's why I was like looking forward to like maybe Daniel Radcliffe being the new Wolverine for a while, because like I'm like Daniel Radcliffe, he's Harry Potter. What else do I know him for? I mean, he does like, of course, you got to work. So I was like, you do like see him doing like indie projects and stuff like that. But let me get back over my IMDb. But you do see him like doing indie projects and stuff like that. But the rest of the world basically just knows him as Harry Potter, and it's been a while. So if he shows up as Wolverine or something in like a Marvel movie later, then like one, we haven't seen this guy like in a while in anything that's really been the same level as Harry Potter. It's been a while. He's physically changed. He's gotten bigger and stuff like that. He's grown up. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm on board with that. But if I saw this, like if I saw Daniel Radcliffe in every movie for like 10 years straight, eventually I'm gonna be like, oh, this dude again, next, and it's not gonna be worth my money to like see him in anything else. For Tom Holland and Zendaya, like for Spider-Man, that is what they like broke out in, so it's fine. But like the fact that I'm seeing them everywhere in different franchises, I'm getting confused as to what I should root for them to be in. Like the Odyssey, like I'm like, oh yeah, the Odyssey, blah blah blah. It's got Zendaya and Tom Holland. What the fuck? Why? Are there no other talented actors in Hollywood? If not, then that's a Hollywood problem, not an actor problem. Go fucking do your recruiters. Go fucking do your job and go find some people. Like we don't need to keep on seeing the same actors because it's just confusing, and we're just gonna stop giving a shit about them, right? So with this Spider-Man and MJ thing, I do hope that ends this movie. They're already married in real life. I wish them a nice, happy marriage. Zendaya, but I wish them a nice, happy marriage in real life. I do not want to see them together on screen, again for a while. It was cute when they were teenagers and when they were dating and stuff like that. But now we're in the adult world. We're moving into more serious like storylines. She's not actually contributing too much to the Spider-Man storyline, except for being a love interest, and I think that kind of demeans her. So the whole time she's just a love interest being like rescued by this guy. She's not able to. She's not able to grow. because of like the role that she's stuck in this movie. So like they need to remove her out of here, and then like maybe have her come back later after after Peter's been through some different like relationships, you know, and then he eventually makes his way back to her. But right now, this relationship between her and Spider-Man needs to go. He needs to wind up with Black Cat, or he needs to be single for a while, or he needs to go explore or something like that. But he does not need to like keep on going back to saving the same girl. It's too repetitive. So and it's too much of an influence on his character, because we already know that he'll sacrifice anything for her. He needs to get over that right now, and then also she needs to earn her way back into the universe. After Peter's been through everything, been through different relationships, been through space and stuff like that, then she shows up as a more mature, Mary Jane, who like can not only just be a love interest for him, but who knows what he's been through and is like still can be his rock again. You know, she's like, okay, yeah, I know you're Spider-Man. Go do your thing. I'm come. You come home. I'm gonna have everything like ready for you. I can deal with this shit now. So I think that's what. Hello, I'm talking shit about you, but I love you. All right, yeah. So I love the way that she looks. She's way too young for me, but yeah. So they need to do something about this film. I know I've been like harping on like the negative points on it, because I think there was a lot of wasted opportunity with this film. But I still say this film is an A plus. Like with what they were given to work with, the actors did a great job. The directing was good. Also, the lighting of this thing. I'm so tired of seeing movies that are like so darkly lit that you can't see shit. So like the director, he did our eyeballs a favor. By making it bright, colorful. Like, this is a movie that kids will like. This is a movie that kids will enjoy. This is the movie that will inspire kids. And now like that, Peter's got his brand new day, and he can go really focus on being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for the time being. I think that's kind of like a good thing. So it did kind of end on a positive note. However, like the ending of this I didn't really like so much, and that's because of the way that it played out. There is something that happens, and Spider-Man is not necessarily in a good state for a little bit, and somebody figures out that they kind of messed up. They could have done that way better, writing wise, I think, and given it more emotional gravitas, instead of somebody just like making a mistake and then having to and then realizing that they made a mistake. They should have had because something similar does happen in the comics, and it has a huge impact. Here they put that same thing in, but it doesn't have the same impact. We do get to see a lot of people, like how Spider-Man's activities have impacted a lot of people and stuff like that, but it just doesn't have the same impact as in the comics. So they should have left that part out, I think. To be honest, it didn't really play as much of a role as it could have, and so it should have been saved for a later point, I think. But at the end of it, Spider-Man does kind of get a brand new day. And this allows him to kind of focus on becoming one with himself and becoming one with becoming the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that we all love and stuff. But at the same time, because they missed so many opportunities to connect a lot of stuff with this one, I do feel like maybe we're going to need a few more movies now. We're going to need a few more Marvel movies now to connect all of the points and all of the tissues that they could have connected in this. Easily connected in this. So Marvel, if you're looking for writers who know how to connect storylines, take a look at my WildFIRE Expanded Universe that I've got. That was just showing people on my Patreon and stuff like that, because I've been working on this for 30 years and everything is connected. So past, present, and future. This is a saga that extends for like thousands of years, starting, and it's a multi-generational saga. So if you need help learning how to write multi-generational saga to where you're not looking for different directors and different writers all the time, contact me, because I could have like put this story together in a way that connects with everything that you guys have been working on for the past like 15 years, and it would have made sense. Right now, though, and it would have like saved you guys a lot of money having to make other movies and other like TV shows that are going to try to connect what you didn't connect in this movie. Yeah, so next time, fucking just ask me. I could connect all of this stuff for you very easily. But now what we have to do is we kind of have to find out where the future is going to go for all of these characters. So we know Spider-Man's got a brand new day, and he's kind of going to be in his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man mode. We don't know what's going to happen with MJ. We don't know what's going to happen with Ned. We don't know what's going to happen to anybody at the end of this. So now they have to now Marvel had to go through a whole phase of just trying to connect all of this stuff again. That means more movies, more budget, more TV shows, more comics and stuff like that. But maybe that's what they want. But they don't have time because these actors are getting older. So so that's why instead of planning a 10, if you don't have I'm a bitch at Marvel for a little bit. If you don't already have a full script written out if you don't already have a multi-generational saga written out and on paper by somebody who's done this, don't fucking make a universe. don't even try to make a Spider-Verse or something like that, because you're going to wind up wasting a lot of time, and you're going to have to find writers and stuff who know the previous material to try to connect it to everything. And what's going to happen is your actors and stuff are going to start aging up. They're going to start aging out of the roles. They're going to start doing other projects and stuff like that, and you're going to be still kind of fumbling around. So you don't need a 10-year plan of multiple different fucking storylines. You need a writer who can just write a full story arc from write the the Lord of the Rings from start to finish. That way that you have a roadmap and you know exactly where the story starts, the middle of it, and where it ends. That's what you need, right? So I'm really afraid that even though this movie is awesome and is amazing, it is a great spectacle, I'm afraid that the next director can fuck this up. Yeah, because we don't know who it is. We don't know who's writing it. We don't know who's directing it, and we don't know how long it's going to take to make this fucking movie. So the next movie that's going to have to try to figure out how to connect all of these different parts that got left unconnected in this one. Yeah. So this is going to be more. It's not really connected to the multiverse saga right now, even though something does happen that kind of indicates that that is a indication of doomsday coming. So in the end, it's a good standalone film. It does bring back the Savage Hulk. It does give Peter more control of his powers and give him a power up and give them a little bit more freedom to become the Spider-Man that we know and love. At the end of the day, though, there's still too many unconnected lines that Marvel is going to have to try to fill in. And that's kind of where I worry about what's kind of going to go on with this franchise moving forward. So, we didn't get spoiler. Yeah, we didn't get anything with Venom. So we got at the end of the movie, we got a good movie, a good standalone movie, but we got nothing to connect it to the mutant, to really solidly connect it to the mutant saga or to Venom or to the multiverse stuff. We just got hints, or we just got hints to what they're planning, but we don't have anything that's actually connecting. Because Jean Grey, she just does her Jean Grey thing at the end and winds up going somewhere. Damage control, they still don't. They wind up getting a little bit of what they want, and we know that they're going to turn evil sometime in the future. No, you should have done that in this movie. You had the perfect opportunity to do all of that in this movie. So it's just get in there, get in the room, be we're doing Spider-Man and we're fucking doing mutants. and we're kicking this shit off now. Because that's And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm just gonna keep on repeating. I think that they should have committed more to the mutants, to the hand storyline, because I already had like a shitload of characters in here anyway. So if you're gonna put like a shitload of characters in here, like and you're gonna put the hand in here, make them like make it to where it connects to something else. Like obviously it connects to something. If you're gonna put Sadie Sink in here, make it connect directly to the X-Men. Like, you're just like, well, we have this nice girl, like, nice mutant named Jean Grey, and she's been in the Spider-Man movie. Now, you have to go watch another, like, movie with her and restart this shit all over again just to see why she's relevant. No, make her more relevant. Make her a key part as to why humans hate mutants in this movie. You could have done that, but it's just like, Disney wants to stretch this shit out. I'm like, well, if you're going to stretch it out, like, make sure you have the same writer and the same director or the same, like, team at least working on it to where it doesn't feel all discombobulated when people try. But they haven't learned anything about, like, learned anything from the multiverse saga yet. So this movie will make a lot of money. Justifiably, like, this movie is awesome. This movie will make a lot of money. This movie is one of the best Spider-Man movies, and for spectacle, and for action, and for acting, and for visuals. This shit, this is the best movie I've seen from Marvel I would say since Infinity War. Yeah, since Infinity War. Since Infinity War, I would say this is the best one that I've seen. But other than that, it's just lacking what's necessary for a lot of fans, I think. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I can talk about this movie forever because like I'm still kind of like hyped from watching it. And I'm still kind of buzzing, and I'm still kind of excited about. I am excited about where Marvel and the MCU is kind of going forward, but I think they really need to like lock in and commit to their future projects. I think they got burned in the past by making like so many projects, during the last phase. That's like, and they announced like all of these movie stuff. But the problem is, you didn't have any of this shit planned in advance. That's why you just had like a movie title. Oh, we're gonna do She-Hulk, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do. Who's gonna write this shit? We don't fucking know. Don't do that. If you're going to do something, you write a saga. If you're going to write a saga, you write a saga from beginning to end, or at least beginning, middle, and end to where you know where you want to go. And that, and then you try to keep the same writing team and the same people who are involved in the creative process as a through line to get to where you want to be. That you might have to change directors, you might have to change writers every now and then if something goes seriously wrong. But you need to have that basic framework and that basic storyline, and the basic generational saga already kind of written out. Otherwise, you're going to keep on getting stories that are disconnected with characters that nobody knows. Like for my WildFIRE Expanded Universe, which is what I'm showing on my screen right now as an example. I have 3 different story arcs. One is the first one is the Ryukage story arc. The second one is CDULO, and the third one is WildFIRE. And but the thing is, I wrote the entire story, the whole years ago, like almost 30 years ago. So I don't have to look for another. Even if I die, I have all of my notes and stuff. Somebody can take these notes and follow the entire series. Okay, this person is connected to this person who does this event and stuff like that. So I can easily make a movie or video game franchise out of this now that I have the material. Now that I have the equipment and the technology to do so. I can easily make a franchise out of this and an endless universe out of this because I already know where everything fits. But when you're dealing with something as big as Marvel, and you have so many characters. I have 400 characters in here, in my WildFIRE storyline. So this is story arc number 1. Then we got story arc number 2, which is CDULO, and then story arc number 3, which is the main WildFIRE timeline. But I can do all of this because I actually know the story from beginning to end. Right? But when you're working with a project or an IP as big as Marvel, you can't afford to just keep on hiring different random people to do your shit and then make a cohesive story. So that after, even though they put so much effort into this movie and they wound up turning it into an awesome movie, I don't have like a lot of faith that the next one will be good or like really coherently connected to what Marvel is planning in the future. And that's kind of what worried me. So I think like they're gonna have to like stay on their A game to make sure that this movie stays relevant now. Just because they didn't put enough connective tissue into this for any of their other projects, I think. Mm. Yeah, so that is my spoiler-free review of Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Like, awesome movie, great cast, good fight scenes. Like Punisher was like hilarious in this. This dude cries a lot more than I thought. Yeah, but yeah, really really good film. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Watch it as a standalone, and I think it will work better for you. If you're thinking about how this connects to like a future Marvel projects and like a leads in, everybody was excited because Sadie Sink was in here and they felt like it was going to lead heavily into the X-Men, the Mutant Saga. That's not necessarily the case with this one, unfortunately. Mm. Yeah, but saying all of that, she is my dream. She is my Jean Grey. Yeah, so I will like I'm gonna die on that hill. They picked the perfect girl to play Jean Grey. They just needed to give her a little bit more to work with and a little bit more connectivity to the Mutant Saga in here, and they just could not commit to doing that in this movie. All right, so that's gonna be it for my review of Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I think, like I said, I don't normally do movie reviews, but this one I had to do this one. And so like yeah, definitely like check it out. Watch the movie. Let me know what you think about it. And like if this is your first time to my channel, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because I am moving all of my stuff over from Twitch to YouTube, and so YouTube will be my main streaming platform from now on. And the reason for that is because I do have my own universe here. So like I'm rebranding all of my content and all of my remaking my YouTube channel to focus on my WildFIRE Expanded Universe, the IP that I was just talking about. So if you'd like to know more about that, check out my YouTube channel here, and you can find out even more about it on my Patreon page. This is where I have all of the like locked character profiles, the video games, the animation, and the manga that I'm working on, and all of this is being developed solely by me. So there's no like I don't have to hire another director or another writer. So this is all being produced by me as a solo artist. And on that note, also like I have just launched a Kickstarter for for the first story arc of this WildFIRE Expanded Universe. Now that the framework and the groundwork is all completed, so I'm actually going back on Kickstarter now, and I'm launching Kickstarters for each individual arc. So this new Kickstarter that I just launched is for Story Arc 1, the Ryukage, the beginning of the Ryukage clans, the actual comic series. So I'm working on trying to get funding for comic issue number 3. And then once I get funding for that, there are 26 like issues in this comic series that I didn't want to complete before I move on to Story Arc 2, which is CDULO, Beyond the Outer Rim. So you can like check this Kickstarter out for free on the Kickstarter page. Just go to the URL. I'll probably put the URL in here somewhere. But this is my franchise, yeah. And so I already have everything mapped out. So here's the Ryukage comic series. This is CDULO, and this is the WildFIRE series. So it's very easy to create a franchise if you have everything written out and already drafted out, and you know how the story starts and ends, right? So yeah, but I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But yeah, the CDULO story arc number 2. And then this is WildFIRE story arc number 3. So you can find out more about that just by checking out my Patreon. Yeah, so this Kickstarter is gonna like end in about maybe this is a cold Kickstarter, so I just started it like last week, and it's gonna end in about like 19 days. So it's a cold Kickstarter, so I don't really like I didn't do any promotion or anything like that, just because I wanted to I want to get organic fans, organic people who are interested in this. I don't want to pay for like like people to back me and stuff like that, or like advertise for me. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. That is, those are my general thoughts on Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I loved the movie. I enjoyed the experience. I had a lot of fun with it. It hits in the right places for feelings. So the movie itself as a standalone, I would say is not perfect, but it's good. It's very good. But you know, if you're looking at it in a broader perspective of what Marvel is going for and what they need to do and everything that they need to connect in the future, it leaves too many things unconnected, and that means that they're going to have to create other projects to try to cover that gap, which I think is totally unnecessarily would have been unnecessary if they had like kind of written it with that perspective in mind of being able to connect everything. All right, so that's gonna be it for this one. I am gonna jump off. I'll probably like play some Marvel Rivals with Spider-Man today since the movie just came out, and I'm still like not sleepy because I'm still kind of buzzing from what I just watched. But yeah, like please like, subscribe, hit the noti bell, and you can catch me out on my on YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, and on my other social media channels. Right. So everyone have a good one, and I will see you all again in the next stream, which will not be a movie review, which will probably be me playing Marvel Rivals or working on my WildFIRE Expanded Universe. So everyone have a good one, and have a good night. I gotta figure out how to sign off on this thing properly, but yeah.